A Year with God, Day 99. The reading for today is out of 1 Kings chapter 11, verses 1 through 4. And in the scripture reading, the author is talking about Solomon and how after he'd built the temple in Jerusalem, he started building temples for his wives, building places for them to worship as well. And it kind of addresses the idea of how, the commentary reading kind of addresses the idea of how that led him astray. How building altars for other gods led him away from the worship of his God, the true God. And in the commentary reading, they're talking about other things that we sometimes rely on in place of God, like our education or our skills or our abilities or our job or our savings accounts, our investments, whatever. Anything that we rely on in place of putting our trust and reliance on God. It reminded me a little bit of the Ten Commandments. Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and Him only shalt thou serve. And it's kind of interesting, I think, in that commandment, how that idea of worship and service tend to be tied together. And we see that a little bit here, how our worship, or how Solomon's worship was derailed by him building temples or serving other gods. Probably even initially, not even thinking of that, just not thinking of being led astray or focusing on other gods, but probably just that distraction that comes as he was building something for his wives. Very, very slowly, I imagine, probably pulled his attention away from God. And I think that's why the commandment there is so emphatic. Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and Him only shalt thou serve. Because sometimes as we begin to serve other things, as we begin to prioritize other things, sometimes that can become a very real, very significant distraction that pulls our attention away from God. So, those are my thoughts on Day 99.